Welcome back, everybody. This is Joe Cusick from the Cusick Group Securities provided by MoneyBlock. Here with your What's Hot Right Now update here at MarketStream.live. As promised, after the open today, I wanted to take a look at some of the sectors that are having a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction, specifically in terms of to the upside with the Trump victory. Just taking a look at the action right now, we're going to start with just the sectors and the sector ETFs. I want to give you some context, some things that you're going to add to your watch list. And what we'll also do is we'll break down at 1:30 Eastern time some stocks within these sector ETFs that you should be watching as well. First, we're going to start off with the banks and financials. The benefactors right here, take a look at XLF. That's the sector ETF that tracks most of the big banks. It's up about 2.3% right now at 2045. Also take a look at the broker-dealers and securities exchange ETF. That is IAI. It is up roughly around 3% this morning. Huge spike there. Take a look at the KRE, which is the big bank index as well. That is, KBE, which is the up about 3%. KRE is an interesting one. This is going to be the regional banking. These are the smaller banks. Take a look at that, up about 3.3% this morning. And we're seeing that the banking sector in general is seeing quite a rally. With the Trump victory right now, there is going to be quite a bit of discussion. I mean, the clear path right now is going to be new regulations, so forth and so on. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. Taking a look at biotech and healthcare, start with IBB. As a matter of fact, if I take a look at, I'm going to bring this up right now. If I take a look at biotech and healthcare, take a look at IBB, and I'm actually going to put that in. You can see I'm doing this on the fly. It's one of those kind of day. IBB is up about 7.23%. This biotech index ETF is on the move. Biotechs, drug stocks, they're all to the upside. There was a lot of discussion about pricing, things of that nature, which I don't think is going to go away by any means just because Trump is in office. It doesn't mean that the discussion's already been had. The cat is out of the proverbial bag. So the best interest of the consumer is going to also always be in play right now. The media and everyone is on top of this. So, but right now, drug stocks, biotech names have been beat up. The IBB, which tracks those stocks, the ETF is up 7% today. XLV, which is the healthcare select ETF, that is up about 2.75%. Keep an eye on there. That's where I'm going to start drilling down to find names that are going to be interesting to keep an eye on going forward in the biotech and healthcare that could benefit from some policy changes that are coming down the pike with Trump. There's going to be a lot on that. Taking a look at basic materials, take a look at XLB. As a matter of fact, and how I suggest when I talk about these basic materials and so forth, XLB is a great opportunity to go in. Once you look at the ETF, now you're getting a basis of what's going on in the materials sector. It's up about 0.7%. You're going to see some infrastructure plays, specifically the wall, right? That's going to be a big, tenuous type of discussion. But at the end of the day, immigration is now in the forefront, and the actual and proverbial wall is going to be discussed ad nauseum. But you're going to look at material sector. More importantly, look at some of the other infrastructure plays, roads, bridges, those kind of concepts. You're going to start hearing more about, America bonds, things of that nature to try to get big companies with big cash holdings to repatriate here in the United States. The materials sector could benefit from that, up about 0.8%. Taking a look at industrials. Industrials is going to be an area, again, that could potentially have a boost with some of the policies that Trump is potentially going to propose down the pike, up 1.3% this morning. Transports. Taking a look at transports, and again, like I said, I know I'm going through it right now. I'm trying to get this as real time as possible. Taking a look at the transports, take a look at IYT. That's the transport average ETF. I've talked about it ad nauseum. It's actually down 0.3% this morning. So is Jets, JETS. That's going to track some of the airlines that we are all familiar with. As a matter of fact, there was some passenger information that came out from both United and Continental as well as American last night. We didn't cover it, obviously, because everything was about the election, but now this is in play. Jets is also down 0.2%. These could be benefactors if, in fact, we're going to take a look at their energy policy that Trump's going to put into play. How aggressive is he going to get with fossil fuels? That could impact transports as well as airlines. So keep an eye on there. IYT and Jets. Taking a look at aerospace and defense. Talked about this quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. ITA is an ETF that you can take a look at. That's the Aerospace and Defense ETF, up about 2.85%. Trump had tough talk there, so we're going to see how that plays out. And also PPA, that's the aerospace portfolio, Aerospace and Defense portfolio ETF by PowerShares. So you got iShares, PowerShares. Basically, that one's up about 3% on the day. You can start looking at those ETFs. Look at the top holdings. Start to get a good feel of the stocks that are being held in there. Taking a look at pharma and drugs. This is going to be, again, a very interesting space. PPH is an ETF that you can take a look at. It's up 4.38%. So not only are the biotechs, but also the drug stocks and some of the other larger pharmaceutical names. It's going to be interesting, especially when we're going to start looking at more competitive potential pricing, so on and so forth. We also want to take a look at the precious metal markets, specifically gold. Gold is something that a lot of individuals are going to be looking at initially as a safe haven asset. Then you're going to start looking at it in terms of inflation and how that's trading. Take a look at the miners. GDX is the ETF that tracks the gold miners. It's up about 5.4%. The junior miners, GDXJ, up about 6%. And GLD is the ETF that actually tracks the gold bullion. It's up basically almost 1.1% this morning. It's come off of its best levels, but still trading to the upside. Healthcare providers. We're going to watch this one very close. I had mentioned this before. IHF is the ETF that tracks healthcare providers. The Obamacare is now going to be scrutinized. Trump was extremely transparent about the fact that the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare, needs to be repealed. We'll see about that. As it's been duly noted, there are 20 million Americans that have health insurance that didn't have it before Obamacare, but there are also plenty of Americans, I'm one of them, that are looking at their January 1st premiums doubling. And I'm not kidding. It is ugly. That's a little bit of a personal note. I apologize. We need to get this under control. People need health care, but we need the pricing to get under control. Let's see where he goes with this. IHF is where you're going to start. That's the ETF you can track. IHF right now, if I look at this, is currently trading at down about 273, down about 327, or in other words, 2.75%. So healthcare providers are getting hit right now. Going to be very interesting. Steel is going to be another one. Take a look at SLX. With all the infrastructure plays that are going to be discussed and going to be planned, steel is going to be on the move right now, up 5.5%. And then finally, coal. Coal is going to be a mover as well. Coal prices have been in the dumps. He took the Rust Belt. He also took areas of the country in Pennsylvania and so forth that have been hard hit because of coal prices. This is going to be very interesting. Small businesses and industries that have been out of favor for the last 2 decades, basically, could have some potential here, especially if he changes regulations. Coal right now, ticker symbol to the ETF is KOL. That is the coal ETF, up about 1.63%. Going to watch these names very closely. So now you got a watch list. Now you got a game plan. These stocks are all up primarily. There's a few like the healthcare providers that are down, but you're seeing the knee-jerk reaction right now, even though the overall market is a little bit mixed at best. We're seeing that these are the stocks, and we're seeing that these are the ETFs of the sectors that are on the move to the upside with the Trump candidacy now officially president-elect. So put that on your watch list. What we're going to do at 1:30 is we're going to start picking out a handful of securities in each one of these sectors to start taking a look at, break down, start to build out the strategic approaches that you should be thinking about, and how we can look at what's being priced in for potential movement in these stocks going into the upcoming weeks and months. All right? So that is it for your update for what's hot now. And we're going to be on at 1:30 Eastern time at our traditional spot for Strategy Now, which is just doing our midday recap. We're going to have a ton of information. I'm very excited for having you all on. Our base is growing, folks. Get the word out. We need you to start talking about this. We are going to be the network that you're going to be watching, that you're going to go in and you're going to look at every night so that you're making the best decisions both in your investments and your trades. So please get the word out. MarketStream.live. Thanks, everybody. See you at 1:30 Eastern time.